Right now, as you're listening to this, your business is bleeding money. And the scary part? Well, you probably can't even see it happening. 80% of business owners are losing thousands of dollars every single month to invisible profit drains that hide in plain sight. These aren't obvious expenses like rent or salaries, but these are the silent cash killers that can destroy profitable businesses from the inside out. Hey, I'm Shihan Sharif, the founder of Money Master HQ, a 4-time Amazon best-selling author and a 2-time international award-winning author, as well as your host of the Money Master HQ podcast, which you're listening to. Today, I'm going to expose the 5 most dangerous profit drains that are secretly sabotaging your business and give you the exact fixes that can save you thousands starting this week. Before we dive in, let me share the standard disclaimer. The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered personalized financial advice. Always consult with qualified professionals for your specific business situation. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever had months where your sales were great, but somehow your bank account didn't reflect it? You're making money on paper, but cash is still tight. Well, you're not alone. This happens because most business owners focus on revenue growth while profit drains work silently in the background, eating away at their success. Do not forget to check the show notes of this episode via the episode link on podcast.moneymasterhq.com and check episode 10, and inside you'll find the link to the show notes. Here's what I've learned from working and interacted with many businesses and business owners as a group CFO. The difference between businesses that thrive and those that struggle isn't usually about sales or marketing. It's about the money leaks they can't see, or which they refuse to see. Think of your business like a bucket. You can pour water in all day long. That's your revenue. But if there are holes in the bottom, you'll never fill it up, isn't it? Today we are going to find those holes and plug them for good. I'm going to walk you through 5 profit drains that I see in almost every business I analyze. For each one, I'll show you the real cost, give you a real-world example, and provide a simple fix you can implement immediately. Let's start with the biggest one most people miss entirely. Profit drain number 1, the inventory iceberg. The first silent cash killer is what I call the inventory iceberg. Just like the Titanic, what you can't see will sink you. Most business owners think inventory cost is simple. It's what you paid for the products, right? No, that's wrong. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Hidden underneath is storage costs, insurance, the risk of obsolescence, theft, damage, and here's the big one, the opportunity cost of all that cash tied up in products sitting on shelves. Let me give you real numbers. If you have $50,000 in inventory, you think that's your cost. But when you add storage at roughly, let's say, 8% annually, insurance at 2%, obsolescence risk at 5%, and the opportunity cost of that capital at let's say 6%, suddenly that $50,000 inventory is actually costing you $67,500 per year. I hope you get it. That's an extra $17,500 you probably never ever calculated. Here's your fix. Implement what I call the 80-20 inventory rule. 80% of your profits, approximately, come from 20% of your products. It may slightly vary for your business, but you may want to check it. This week, identify your top performing 20% and reduce your slow moving stocks by, let's say, 40%. Yes, 40%. But inventory is just the beginning. The second profit drain is even more dangerous because it disguises itself as success. Here's a scenario that happens every day. You celebrate landing a big sale, but 3 months later, you're still waiting to get paid. Welcome to profit drain number 2, and that is the accounts receivable trap. This is where your biggest wins become your biggest cash flow problems. You've done the work, delivered the product, but your money is stuck in limbo. Sounds familiar? Here's a statistic that will shock you. 80% of non-finance managers don't even track their sales outstanding, also called DSO in short. Well, DSO stands for how long it takes to collect money after a sale. If your DSO is 45 days instead of 30, you're essentially giving customers a free 15-day loan using your money. For a business doing $2 million in annual sales, that 15-day difference ties up to $250,000 of your cash. Astonishing, isn't it? Think about what you could do with an extra $250,000 in working capital. The fix is what I call the payment velocity formula. Perhaps offer a 2% discount for payments within 10 days. Yes, you give up 2%, but you get your money 35 days faster than otherwise. Now, the third profit drain is death by 1,000 small cuts. Raise your hand if you've ever signed up for a software trial and forgotten to cancel it. Keep it up if you're still paying for subscriptions you never use. I call this subscription creep. And it's killing small businesses softly. The average business today has 87 active subscriptions. 87, yes. But studies show they only actively use 62% of them. That means 38% of subscription costs are pure waste. These aren't big expenses individually. Perhaps $29 here, another $99 there, but they add up fast. For most businesses, unused subscriptions cost $15,000 to $30,000 annually. Here's your action step. Conduct what I call a subscription audit this month. Go through your credit card statements or bank statements if you pay through your bank from the last 3 months. Cancel anything you haven't used in 60 days. You can always resubscribe, isn't it? Use my ROI rule. If a subscription doesn't generate at least 3 times its cost in value, it goes. Simple. But even if you nail inventory, collections, and subscriptions, there's a profit killer that's probably eating your margins right now. Here's what keeps me up at night when I look at business financials. I call it the margin erosion monster. Your prices stayed the same, but your profits disappeared. Sounds familiar again? Well, while you've been focused on growing sales, costs have been creeping up silently. Supplier prices increase, shipping costs rise, labor gets more expensive, utilities go up, everything increases except your prices. Here's the math that will scare you. A 5% increase in costs without a corresponding price adjustment can reduce your profit by 25 to 50%. Let me make this real with an example. You sell a product for $100 with $60 in costs. That's 40% gross margin. If costs increase by 5% to $63, but you keep the price at $100, which is the same, your margin drops to 37%. That's a 7.5% margin reduction from just a 5% cost increase. Multiply that across your entire product line, and you can see how businesses go from profitable to struggling without understanding why. Well, the fix is implementing quarterly pricing reviews. Track your top 5 cost categories monthly and adjust your sales prices accordingly. I use what I call the inflation adjustment formula. When costs increase, don't just absorb them, pass them through strategically. Most customers understand price increases if you communicate the value and reasoning clearly. The final profit drain might be the most expensive of all, and it's completely invisible. The last silent cash killer is the process inefficiency phantom, the most expensive ghost in your business. Inefficient processes are invisible profit drains. Your team is working harder, not smarter, and since time literally equals money, inefficiency costs you double. You pay for the wasted time and lose the opportunity cost of what time could have produced. Studies show inefficient processes cost businesses 20 to 30% of their revenue annually. For a $2 million business, that's $400,000 to $600,000 of waste. Here's what this looks like. Your team spends 2 hours on a task that should take 30 minutes. They are manually entering data that could be automated. They are having meetings about meetings. They are recreating work that already exists. Pathetic, isn't it? Well, the fix is time value analysis. This week, track how long your routine tasks actually take. Then ask one simple question. How can we do this 50% faster? Yes, better questions will lead to better answers and better processes. Often, simple automation or process changes can save hours weekly. Assuming a client automated their invoicing process and saves 15 hours per week, at $50 per hour, that's literally $39,000 in annual savings from one simple change. Now I know what you're thinking. Shihan, this all sounds overwhelming. Where do I even start? Here's your 90-day action plan to plug these profit drains. Weeks 1 and 2. Inventory optimization. Analyze your inventory turnover, identify slow-moving stock, and implement the 80-20 rule. Remember we discussed it? Then, weeks 3 and 4, receivables acceleration. Calculate your current DSO, implement payment incentives, and automate follow-up processes. Next, weeks 5 and 6, your subscription audit. List all recurring payments, cancel unused services, and negotiate better rates on the keepers. Week 7 and 8, margin protection. Review cost trends versus pricing. Implement quarterly price reviews and calculate optimal pricing adjustments. Lastly, week 9 through 12, Process optimization. Identify your top 3 time-consuming processes, implement efficiency improvements, and measure your time and cost savings. Well, if you can complete all of these processes well ahead of 12 weeks, that would be even greater. Now to sum up, let's assume a business owner named Sarah. She owned a real business, which is into retail, doing 2 million in sales annually, but struggled with cash flow despite the good sales. After implementing the 5 fixes which we discussed, let's assume that she reduced inventory by 30% and freed up 75,000 in cash. And let's say she also improved her DSO from 45 to 25 days, and she improved cash flow by 150,000. And let's say she also cancelled 23 unused subscriptions, which saved $18,000 annually. She adjusted pricing by 8%, adding 160,000 in revenue, and she streamlined her ordering process, saving 15 hours per week. Alright, so the total impact works out to $403,000 in cash improvement in 90 days. And this is without acquiring a single new customer. Now don't let these silent profit drains continue bleeding your business dry. Pick one of these areas and take action immediately. If you can implement the action plan we discussed, which includes everything, that would be incredible. And you will thank me later. You can calculate your true inventory carrying cost, implement a payment incentive program, cancel 3 unused subscriptions today, review and adjust prices on your top 5 products, or time one routine process and find a way to cut it in half rather. Are you ready to stop the profit bleeding? Check out the show notes for free on podcast.moneymasterhq.com, and just inside episode 10 you would see the link. Also, do not forget to start your free trial at join.moneymasterhq.com. That's join.moneymasterhq.com. While you're taking action, grab my $1 best-selling, international award-winning book, Accounting Fundamentals, a non-finance manager's guide to finance and accounting. And you can get it at book.moneymasterhq.com/book. Well, next week, we're diving into the CFO's secret weapon, 3 financial ratios that predict business success and prevent failure. You'll discover the exact metrics that separate thriving businesses from struggling ones, and how to track them in under 5 minutes per week. If you found this episode valuable, which I hope you did, please subscribe to the Money Master HQ podcast and leave us your honest review. Your feedback helps us reach more business owners, entrepreneurs, and non-finance managers who need to hear this message. You can connect with me at moneymasterhq.com or on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Shihan Sharif. Or you can also email me directly at info@moneymasterhq.com. Remember, as I always say, we can't realize our dreams in life without helping others accomplish theirs. Until next time, keep mastering your money. Thank you.